So these are our results. I'm just going to go over number 2 since that one was below the 70%. So it says which system of inequalities is represented by the graph below. The first thing I want you to notice is there's an up and down line. Is up and down X or Y? X. When I think up and down, I think exclamation point, right? So this is an X equals line, which means the answer can't be C or D because these are the Y ones. All right? So that's the first part. And then the second part is looking, so what's the difference between A and B, right? Because I know that it's got to be A or B because of that vertical line. So now I'm thinking, all right, well, what's the difference between A and B? The difference between A and B is the inequality sign on the second one, right? It's Y is greater than versus Y is less than. So if I'm looking at this red line, that's the diagonal line. Would you say that the graph is shaded above that or below that? The shaded region, is it above the red line or below it? Above. So what inequality symbol do you think goes with above? Less than or greater than? Greater than makes no sense, right? If it's above. So it must be the greater than one. Another way that you could do this is you could type this into your calculator. And do you guys remember that we did the shading for this in the calculator? You might forget, so let me just show you. Because it's in slope-intercept form, the calculator will do the shading for you for that y equals equation. So what you can do is type the equation into your calculator. So negative 1/3 x plus 2 is going to go in my y equals screen. Negative 1 divided by 3x plus 2. And then over here, what you could do is you hit enter. Oops. On the equal sign, sorry. Thanks. Okay. All right. So remember, like we talked about how that's like a triangle above, right? So what that's going to be is the greater than sign. And then if I hit arrow over, that's going to be the less than sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the greater than sign, and I'm going to hit graph, and I'm going to see where it shades. And if it doesn't shade the same spot as the one on the problem, then I'll do the less than sign and check it that way. So greater is what comes first. So I'm going to hit OK. And you can see in terms of the line that it went up. So the greater than sign is consistent with the above here. Whereas when I do the less than sign, it's going to be below. So that's why it's A versus B. I like that those of you that got it wrong picked B. I think that means at least you're really close, right? You knew that it was A or B because of the x equals line. Okay, so just focusing in on the second one, you can use your calculator for that. All right, I'm just going to change my window so it looks more consistent. So now you can see it kind of matches that. Whereas if I go to the y equals screen and I change this to below, which was what B had, it was the less than, you can see that that one goes down. So it's the greater than symbol. The other ones look pretty good here. Not bad. So what you need for today is your final review packet. It's white, I believe, for this class. And we're going to go to page 9. So we did, you need one? All right, so we did linear programming last week. And then the second unit that we did in this course is geometry. All right, so if you weren't here on Friday, we talked about how, if you weren't here on Friday, we talked about how if you Yep. All right, so if you weren't here on Friday, we talked about how we already took a midterm that had open-ended on linear programming and geometry. So these are not going to be on your final in open-ended form, okay, since you already took an open-ended assessment on this. But they will be on the multiple choice because your final's cumulative, and so all of the things that you learned this year will be on your final. So geometry was Unit 2. Today we're going to review the stuff from geometry that you need to know. Nothing that I'm doing today is busy work. The geometry unit was pretty long. I'm only picking out the important stuff, okay? We're not doing like the little vocabulary. So, when you are doing a problem with angles like this, the way that I taught it is you can put like a dot in the middle, right? And you can make a circle around it. And if I were to highlight the two pieces, all right, so if I were to highlight the two angles there, in relationship to the circle, how much of the circle is the orange pieces? Half, right? And a full circle, like when you do a full rotation, is called doing a 360, right? So a half circle would be half of 360, which is 180. So this relationship is called a linear pair, and you don't need to know that part, but that's what they're called. And a linear pair is two angles that create an 180-degree angle, right? So if we call this angle 1 and this angle 2, what I can do is I can replace the angle 1 with the equation, 7q minus 46, plus I can replace angle 2 with 3q plus 6, and set that equal to 180. From here, what I'm going to do, I take the two equations, add them together, set them equal to 180. I'm going to combine my like terms. 7q plus 3q, well 7 plus 3 is 10, so that's 10q. And negative 46 plus 6 is negative 40. So I'm combining like terms there. Everybody okay so far? All right, I'm going to add 40, and I'm just going to not write that out because I don't have a lot of space here. So when I add 40 to this side, that's 220. And if I divide both sides by 10, that's 22. But the question doesn't say find Q. The question says find angle D, B, C. So let's trace those letters. D goes to B, B goes to C. This angle 2 is DBC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the equation for angle DBC, which is 3Q plus 6, and I'm going to replace the Q with 22. To solve for that angle. So we get 72 degrees. Just make sure you read the question and you answer the question fully, right? This wasn't just asking for Q, it was asking for D, BQ. Now for this next one, the relationship that we learned is that, see how the 100 is not inside the triangle? We learned that the outside angle is equal to the two inside angles added together. So we'll call this angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. In this relationship, angle 1 is equal to angle 2 plus angle 3. The outside angle is equal to the sum of the two inside angles. So the big angle 100 is equal to the inside angles added together. Okay, so I can replace this with a 100 and then add these two equations together. All right, so if we combine our like terms here, we get 15x plus 31. And I'm going to subtract 31 from both sides. Something tells me this is going to be a decimal. All right, so I'm going to type it into the calculator. Do we get a repeating decimal, guys? My calculator closed out. We didn't. What is it? What is it? 13.8. All right. If it's not a repeating decimal, we can write it like this. The calculator closed out. That's just one way to do it. Did anybody look at this and think of a different way to do it? There is another way to solve this one. The other way would be to think of this relationship. What do those two angles make? 180, right? So that means that this inside angle would have to be 80, right? And then the three angles inside of a triangle add up to 180. So this is just another way to do it. You don't have to do it the first way. So there's two rules that you could use here. Outside angle equals inside angle plus inside angle. Or you could work your way into the triangle to get the 80, and then the three inside angles of the triangle add up to 180. You would still end up with the same answer if you did it this way. So whichever way looks easier for you, right? All right, so this is the same idea than the one I was just talking about. All three angles in this image are inside of the triangle. So the rule is that the three angles inside of a triangle add up to 180. So I'm going to take each angle, each equation, and add them together and set them equal to 180. The difference between question 3 and question 2 is that the 100 was not inside of the triangle. It's an exterior angle. In question 3, they are all interior. The inside angles of a triangle add up to 180. You got to make sure they're inside though. So let's combine our like terms here. We've got 12, 17x plus 10 equals 180. I'm doing 8 plus 4 plus 5, that's 17. And I'm doing 5 plus 6, 11, minus 1, that's 10. And so I'm combining the like terms. All right, and then if I divide each side by 17, I get x equals 10. The question says solve for x and find the measure of each angle. So from here, I need to plug 10 into the equations. And so this angle would be 46 degrees. 5 times 10 minus 1. This one would be 50 minus 1, 49 degrees. 8 times 10 plus 5. This angle would be 85 degrees. And a quick check would be adding each of those up and making sure they equal 180. So the three angles inside of a triangle add together to equal 180 degrees. All right, so we worked with really three relationships so far. Two angles that make a half circle equal 180. Three angles inside of a triangle equal 180. Or the outside angle plus the two inside angles are equal to each other. All right, so we worked with 180 relationships and equal to each other relationships. The last important thing from this unit is parallel line parallel line relationships, okay? So it looks like there's a typo on number 10. Change to 2x plus 10 instead of 2x plus 9. Is yours a plus 9? All right, so let's change it to 2x plus 10. All right, so in this one it says that we have angle 5 and angle 4. So the first step is to figure out what type of relationships they are. So you have to find the thing called the transversal. Does anybody remember how to figure out what a transversal is? So a transversal is the line that intersects two lines. There's only one line in this image that intersects two lines. It's this one. It's called T, right? So this is my transversal. So the first thing you want to do is identify the transversal, and then you want to decide, are the two angles I'm given on the same side of the transversal, or are they on alternate sides of the transversal? Because in terms of our relationships, we have same side interior, same side exterior, alternate interior, alternate exterior. So those are all kind of defined on, are they on the same side of the transversal or different? So for this one, you see how they're both on the right-hand side of the green line. They're on the same side of the transversal. And what we learned about same side angles is that same side angles are supplementary, meaning they add up to 180. So angle 5 and angle 4 are same side interior angles, which means they are supplementary. So I'm going to take angle 5 and I'm going to add it to angle 4 and I'm going to set it equal to 180 degrees. That's what supplementary is. If you don't want to memorize those relationships, look at the angles. Does it look like if I took a protractor and measured angle 5 that I would get the same thing if I took a protractor and measured angle 4? Do they look the same? One looks acute, it looks smaller than 90 degrees, and the other one looks bigger than 90 degrees. They're not the same. In this relationship in parallel lines, you're either going to set the equations equal to each other or equal to 180. If they look the same, if they're both acute, set them equal to each other. If they're both obtuse, set them equal to each other. Angle 1 equals angle 2. But if they look different in measure, set them equal to 180. All right, so in this case, we're going to add them up, we're going to set them equal to 180. So we got 2x plus 10 plus 5x minus 12 equals 180. We're going to combine our like terms. 7x minus 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. 10 minus 12 is minus 2. I'm going to add 2. And 182. 24, 26, thank you. It says find the measure of angle 4 though, right? So that tells me what x is, it doesn't tell me what angle 4 is. So I'm going to take that relationship and I'm going to plug it into angle 4. 5 times 26 minus 12. Did somebody do that? My calculator's not pulled up. Thank you. So you're either adding them together and setting them equal to 180, or you're adding them together, or you're setting them equal to each other. In this case, because they were same side, we added them up and set them equal to 180. For this one, it says we have angle 7 and angle 3. Those angles are also on the same side of the transversal, but they are not same side interior because angle 7 is not interior. It's on the outside. And they're not same side exterior because angle 3 is on the inside. Anybody remember what these are called? I didn't say it yet. Corresponding angles. These are corresponding angles. Angle 7 and angle 3 are corresponding angles. If you look at them, angle 7 looks like it's less than 90 degrees, and angle 3 looks like it's less than 90 degrees, meaning that they probably are equal to each other. Corresponding angles are congruent. Congruent is a fancy word for equal to each other. So what that means is angle 7 is equal to angle 3. So I'm going to take angle 7's equation and set it equal to angle 3's equation. I'm going to subtract the 8x from both sides and add 3 both sides. The 8x's cancel out and I get 18. 10 minus 8x is 2x and the 3's cancel out. So if I divide both sides by 2, I end up with 9 equals x. Alright, and this says that we want to find the measure of angle 7. So 87 degrees for that one. Parallel line relationships, you're either adding them up and setting them equal to 180, or you're doing angle 1 equals angle 2. You're setting them equal to each other. These are the only two possibilities with parallel lines. What you have to decide is, did they look the same? Are they both bigger than 90, or are they both less than 90? If they look the same, set them equal to each other. Do they look different? If they look different, add them up, set them equal to 180. Alright, so your practice is on page 14 and 15. We numbered these, so those of you who weren't here, the numbers of these are not fully done. So like, this is 1. Here's you guys, alright, so this is 1. The back of that's 2. 3, you'll start to number them. So we went through and numbered them all. So 3 would be the next shape and so on. Okay? And then that'll get you to page 14, 15. 4 through 9 is geometry. The key is on Canvas. There's video explanation on Canvas. Reminder, this is worth 20% of your overall grade. It is a big chunk of your overall grade. If you do the review, you'll be fine. Okay? Just make sure that you're doing it. You can grab your phones and listen to music as you're working on 4 through 9. Oh, so it's 5 through 9? Alright. Is 5 the first geometry problem? Yeah. Alright. Thank you.